that glorious time for some real education. Andrew Marvell was an English metaphysical poet, satirist, and a politician who sat in the House of Commons at various times between 1659 and 1678. He was a colleague and friend of John Milton, and his poems range from the love song To His Coy Mistress to personal and political satires Flecknoe and the character of Holland.
And Marvell is one of the great 17th century poets. I mean, outside of perhaps the early part of the 17th, the pre interregnum part of England before they closed the theaters in 1642. Before that, you had Shakespeare and Donne and Spenser and Johnson. But after the interregnum, after the king came back, after Cromwell died, he's one of the most important periods of the second half of the 17th century. My favorite poem from Andrew Marvell is To His Coy Mistress. Take a look at this for a second. It's a typical seduction poem. If you know anything about Renaissance seduction poem, they were very clever, and very often they talked about trying to seduce a young woman. It's about a lot more than just sex. Very complicated. John Donne, who we looked at in the past in this show, has done them. This is one of the most beautiful and complicated of all the seduction poems, because when you get right to the point, it's not about he and her enjoying sex at the moment or enjoying their relationship physically. It's about the problem of time. All these great seduction poems really are poems about time, and time is the great enemy of all that lives in this malleable, this mutable world. And so look at the opening. He says to her, "Had we but whirled enough in time, this coyness, lady, were no crime." I mean, she's playing the part of the seduction queen, right? He advances and she withdraws. He makes his proposition open to her, and she plays coy. "Had we but whirled enough in time, this coyness, lady, were no crime." If we had all the time in the world, we would sit down and think which way to walk and pass our long love's day. But you know what, he says? We don't have that world. This is a world where time devours. But at my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near. And yonder all before us lie deserts of vast eternity, right? I mean, all that we have when we're dead are vast open spaces of nothing. When you're dead, he says, thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marble vault shall sound my echoing song. When they bury you in your chamber, you won't be able to hear me. Then, what a graphic image, then worms shall try that long preserved virginity. Right? That what you will not give me, the worms will have. That worms will try that long preserved virginity, and your quaint honor will turn to dust, and into ashes all my lust. The grave's a fine and private place, but none, I think, do there embrace. Some of the language there is some of the most compelling arguments about the wasting nature of time. Beautiful and grotesque. I urge you to read the whole poem. It's about twice as long as I read you, but it's a good one. To His Coy Mistress.